Hello everybody and welcome to a midweek special of Wardy's Waffle. We've got quite a lot going on at the minute, so I need to get this out tonight, Wednesday. So in this week's update we look at the Young Farmers visit we had at the end of last week. 2 local Young Farmers clubs come and visit. We also have a bit of a more detailed look at the direct drilling plots with a couple of guys from Agri. So we're going to quite a lot of assessments and a lot of update on that. And also I visited the Newark and Nottinghamshire County Show a few days ago, and so we'll have a few minutes there looking at that. And the focus of the NFU stand this year was sugar beet, so quite a lot of facts and figures and info on that. I'm just walking, hello Nala, I'm just walking Nala and Frankie down this margin, and I've just noticed as well we've got some tipping of this wheat again. If you can just see, got this haze of the bit of scorch from when we applied the last nitrogen last week, and we've had more scorch we've seen to done this year. And somebody commented on my video last week in the comments after seeing my update last week where Ruben was applying it, that he's noticed the boom was quite low, and they with their umbrella jets they have to have the boom higher. I'm just wondering, has anybody else experienced scorch and tipping such as I've got here behind me? Because I just wonder whether that's the reason that we've been having the boom too low. And because I've looked back at all the when the fields were applied, we did the liquid nitrogen all in one day last week, over 800 acres, and I've looked at the order that Ruben did them in, and the conditions obviously changed during the day with dry leaf and wet leaf and a bit more breeze and things, but they've all got this little bit of scorch. So it's not the conditions, it's something to do possibly with the application or something else. If anybody's got any ideas on that, please come back to me, because obviously it's too late now this year because we've applied all the fertiliser, all the nitrogen for all the crops, so we'll have to look at it. But I just don't like to see this scorch that we've got dotted around. This field's not quite so bad. This is another one we're in now. This one was the early drilled wheat that we drilled this from first time we drilled any wheat in September because of blackgrass. So this was after spring beans, so looking quite good. So interested to see how this does. But yeah, please just come back to me about the application of nitrogen, because I just wonder whether we've had the boom too low. If you look back at update number 50, last week, you'll see doing a bit of spraying of the liquid nitrogen. You'll see what we've been doing and whether that's the reason. Anyway, without any more from me, on to this midweek update. Hope you enjoy it. Please click like, subscribe, the little bell sound to alert you to any of my future videos, so you know when they're coming up. And here we go with this midweek update. Got the 2 local Young Farmers clubs coming for a farm visit tonight. Probably 35 of us. We're going to go around the farm and have a look at some machinery in the yard, go around some of the crops, and we've got a few refreshments on board the people carrier while we go round. All congregating on the weighbridge. What have we got? Are we all on? Are we all on? Yeah. Just under 3 tons. We're now getting on the trailer, and there's a little something for them to be going on the trailer with. What have we got in here? Beer. Whatever gives you that idea. There we go. Help yourself. Beer. Don't stand back on ceremony. Help yourself. Take them with you on the trailer if you want.
Shall we take these on the trailer?
Yeah, I'll take them on the trailer and get rid of them on the trailer. That would be the best thing. That top thing, unzip that the top band there, unzip it and roll it up. That's it, good. I'm just... You're all okay? You're all right? Have you all got a drink? Yeah. Anybody want some water or something else? Good. Right, we'll go and have a look at the direct drilling plot. And they keep coming out like a Benny Hill film. We're just walking all down the field now, all down the plots. They're all interested in the different drills in the establishment. They've got farms at home and they work on other farms where they're trying all these various techniques and these machines. Just looking again at some of these plots, they're drying out even more and cracking. But not looking too bad down the field. Just picked a plough point up, and the last time this field had a plough in was before 2002. So it just shows, and that, I bet that's sharp as hell. Yeah, that would go through a tyre nicely, wouldn't it? Just regarding horseshoes, my father always said never take them out the field, because in years to come, how can anybody such as my grandchildren and their children relate to working a farm and producing crops through horses? So any horseshoes we find, I put back in the same field they come from. So that's it on this direct drill demo field. We're now heading back to the farm to have a look around some of the crops at the back of the main farm. We're using the Bailey people carrier to take them around the farm. Really good for this type of thing. Great sunset in the background, look at that. Fantastic. That's it. Nearly dark, as you can see. Where's the beers?
They're all gone.
All gone.
What do you use your feedback for?
Look, that doesn't. Are they all yours? That looks a bit better. Coming out with Coke rather than beer. Oh.
Right, we'll rescue that one. This is empty.
That's it.
You can tell you, mate.
Oh, that's good.
We'll give you the rubbish.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, put them in the back there and I'll get rid of them. That's it. That's the visit over. They've been here about 3 hours. Job done. Always nice to show people around the farm. We're back in the field where we had the direct drilling plots. I've got Steve and Justin here. This is the first time Steve's seen these, obviously both from Agri. We do a lot of work with both of them. Steve helps us a lot with our iFarm days and all the trials work we do. So, first impression, Steve, looking at this, first time you've seen the field, even though I've sent you some videos.
It shows me that we've got, I mean, on the day you were just goable. Because you've already, we can see the morning and afternoon slots where the drills have gone into. Some drills have only just managed to go in the afternoon.
But there is a difference, isn't there? There's a difference between morning and afternoon, and there's a difference between raked and non-raked.
The straw rake, although sometimes you wonder what it has done.
Yeah.
In this case, the area that's been straw raked is greener.
Yeah.
So we've, I think, released some nutrients. Given the dry conditions you've had, Andrew, there's definitely been some difference there in terms of nutrient release, probably. And you've closed the slots on some of those drills that are left it open. I think that's what we're seeing.
Yeah, I think so. And obviously certain drills cope with different conditions better, but we've seen that in one day within the space of 2 hours how they've coped differently with the conditions.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, and I think you mentioned about the nutrients. I think as well, because we know we put liquid nitrogen on with the glyphosate, some of these drills, like the plot we're stood in now, the free flow drill, mix it up, activates the nitrogen instantly. You've got the disc drills that don't disturb the soil surface. It's probably was sat there when the seed was germinating.
And that's why we're seeing that green across the straw rake. So for me, is the straw rake useful? Yes. I think it is. You know, we see that in this situation. So although this is early days, what we're going to do next, we're going to have plant counts. We're then going to tease open these areas where the plants have been put in. Because I suspect the disc drills will have lined up that seed. The roots are probably in a line as well because it's been so dry. Had the roots been able to get out from that slot? So we're going to have a look at what the plant roots look like next.
Brilliant.
We'll also take tissue samples. We're going to see whether we've got any nitrogen or nutrient differences across the zones.
That'll be fascinating. Right, we'll look at that and catch up with you a bit later.
All right.
So what we've got here, Steve, we're in one of the disc drill plots.
So you can see where the disc drill has cut a slot,
Yep.
placed seed. If I pull that back, you can see that seed there sat in a line.
Come out, Nala. Yep.
We can see there's very little hairpinning, which is good, so we've not really got the hairpinning, but the roots now are trying to break through that next profile, that next soil profile. They're going down in a straight line. There's no root expansion here. The plant itself is a fairly good colour, so it's picking up nutrients, but it's all very regimental in terms of it's all stood in a row in that disc slot.
Yep.
We'll compare that with some of the others.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Good.
Nice row.
So looking down there, yeah, we've got nice rows, haven't we? Like soldiers.
And you can see your straw rake hasn't got quite the
No.
effect in this one.
No, we'll look at that.
First
No, that's right. So we're just in another plot, and this is another disc drill.
Now,
What do we got here?
Good up here.
Yeah.
Nala,
come out.
So again, that slot, we can see where that seed's hanging onto the side of that slot.
Yeah.
In the case of this drill, those roots are going round and round trying to break through that next piece.
Yeah.
So really are struggling, you know, because of lack of rain as well. But that is put into a very, very tight slot. I haven't got the soil movement that I perhaps had in that other drill. So consequently, I think this plant is struggling a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah.
The other thing, and I can't quite see it as much in here now, but slugs are very, very obvious.
Very evident.
All the way down this slot. So where we've just had the slot, not been really pressed, we've got a lot of slug activity as well.
Yeah.
In this.
I know early on I did see the disc drills all had more slug activity than any other.
Yeah, I think generally that's what they've done.
Nala, thank you. Nala helping with our assessment. So we're in another disc drill here, and you can see where it's planted the seed down in the slot, and then the seed, they're all in a line.
But what you've also then got is more root depth.
Yep.
So the roots have broken through this next layer. This drill unit here has allowed and got that plant just a little bit deeper, and it seems that we've got the root.
You can see they're just going a bit deeper.
We haven't got the root expansion still, so we still haven't got anything that's really expanded because it's in that slot, it's in that zone. But that is slightly better than the other two areas we've just seen with a disc drill unit. So already some differences, even between
the disc drills themselves. So another plot, Steve, what we got here?
Banded seed. So we've got seed gone in a band.
Yep.
When we dig out in that band, we can see the seed depth. So that's placed there. We can see the roots have actually started to go down the centre. Yeah. Which is understandable with this drill unit because it has a leading tine that goes and creates that little bit deeper profile there. So the roots are starting to go down, but there are roots, the plant's still sat on a shelf here. They've got to get themselves down there. So although it looks scrappy, the plant counts themselves show us this isn't the worst in terms of numbers established. It is a different system. Yeah. And we have to realise that. So all these are taken through to yield, and we'll see eventually what the yield shows us. But completely different in the way it's growing.
Completely different to the last disc drill. You can see what it's gone into.
The roots are just breaking through the bottom there. So, yeah. See.
So one of the tine drills now. Looking down the row.
And what can we see here? In terms of seeding depth, it's shallow.
Yes.
So it really hasn't
gone
too deeply. The roots themselves haven't broken through this layer either. They're really sat in that top sort of 2 inches and very little expansion at the moment. But they're there, you know. It's managed to close the slot. In terms of plant count, it's not the highest. We've got quite a few gaps. You can see there, there's a 9-inch gap there. So we've not got the percent establishment necessarily that we wanted, but we have green rows.
Yeah. So another tine drill.
Slugs, look.
Yeah, look at the slugs there.
All down there. For the first time, we've now got roots that are probably 4 inches or so depth.
Yeah.
So this drill unit has placed seed inch and a half, but then has created a zone that actually is encouraging those roots down.
Yeah.
A little bit more width on it as well, so it tells me it's not a narrow slot, it's actually a low disturbance tine that's created a little bit of soil movement in there as well.
Yeah. Yeah, good. Looking down there. Another tine drill here. Nala, come on, out you get.
And we can see as well again, Andrew, those white roots, look, there's more
in there, yeah.
More going on in this slot than there is some of those narrower slots where that tine's gone through. So a little bit of movement of soil.
Yeah.
And again, those roots are down there, probably 3-4 inches, nice active roots. So
yes.
This plant's grown well from this this drill unit.
Yeah, looking good down the row when you look down the row there as well. We're now moving into the last of the plots. This is where it was drilled, where it was wet with a free flow.
And again, this is another plot. You see all that white root from those spring barleys are down 4 or 5 inches.
Yeah.
This is the only plot as well at the moment I describe, you see there, for that root system. This root has expanded and is growing actively.
Yeah.
This is from a drill that disturbs quite a bit of soil. It's an old design now, but essentially quite a bit of soil movement. However, on this soil type, it really has allowed this spring barley to get away and produce more root than any other plot at the moment.
Yeah, big roots there. Very noticeable, that is.
So from this particular drill unit, very, very good performance at the moment under these conditions.
Yeah, look at that, yeah. So Steve, you've been here all morning. We've had, you've done a lot of digging, a lot of counting of plants, overall assessment, and absolutely fascinating experiment. We've got that the data from here will be massively useful to us and to you and so many people.
It'll be very interesting. I mean, the field itself has got its challenges. We know when we, for the drill day itself, it was pretty wet conditions and the soil conditions were wet. You put a spring barley into that sort of situation and it will soon start to tell you if it's not happy, because this is a crop that really needs to get out the ground and grow quickly. It's not a winter wheat that's going to be very elastic over a long period of time. So actually any differences here will come through in yield. We're already seeing the differences, Andrew, because of the dry conditions we've had, because of from that drill day we did get very little rain and still have had. We're seeing now some drilled plots that are greener than others. Okay, is that yield? Perhaps not, it just looks greener. But what it means is they've started to grow. They've started to actively take up nutrients. And those greener plants, we can see white roots. We can see the plant itself kicking off. We've got other areas where we put into a slot the seed is still in that slot. Yes, we've got green shoots, but that is not the same growth stage now as some of the other areas.
And I think it just proves probably that the nitrogen we put on beforehand, those drills that maybe disturb the soil surface more and mix things up more, are probably the crops that got away quicker because the nitrogen has got through to the crops more or less instantly.
That's the difference we're seeing at the moment. Now, whether that's a positive or negative or it doesn't make any difference, we'll see later on. But we've set all this up, 10 different drills. We've got with or without straw rake. We've got before the rain and after the rain on your actual drill day, which itself is quite really interesting. They will all be taken to yield, and as you said, lots of assessments at the moment in terms of root depth.
So what have you done today then? You've done plant counts?
So we've done plant counts, we've got planted, therefore establishment percentages. I would have to say that there's nothing much more than about 70% establishment. In fact, some are down at 50%. So already we've got some differences. So the plant counts have been done. We've then got a description of the roots themselves, whether they've expanded, the length of the root, depth of the root, and the colour of the plants. We're then taking photographs of those roots, and just in now in the background it's actually taking leaf tissue samples so we can get and start and analyse what nutrition's been taken up by the plant.
Well, absolutely fascinating, but perfect experiment, and it couldn't have been more tougher conditions with the wet at drilling time and then the prolonged dry weather we've had since. So it really has just teased out the differences of all the machines.
It has, and what we said at the outset of this experiment, of this particular section, this isn't a field that's set up necessarily for direct drilling.
No, that's right.
You know, the conditions are tough, but that is the situation a lot of these drills will go into on farm.
Yeah. But then we've got this plot just here behind me, that area that was planted 9 days after. Don't forget that, Steve. That was 9 days after the demo day.
Yeah.
And yet when you look at it, when you look there, you know, there's nothing wrong with it, and that was done with the free flow. So, you know, so at the end of the day, the free flow still has a place on this farm.
At the moment, given what we've seen, Andrew, I wouldn't change that drill at the moment.
No.
We know that it has its limitations in terms of being able to cope with biomass, maybe in a cover crop situation, but you know, at the moment, the performance on this land with this soil condition is, but don't change it.
No, we just need something that will run in the autumn in cover crops and when there's a lot more trash that won't block.
Sure.
Just to complement it.
And
so we
that's
have
what
to.
we're looking at.
Yeah, brilliant. Thanks, Steve. So I've got Justin here, got some bags. What have you been doing?
I've just been getting some tissue samples, Andrew. So along with all the other assessments, I think we do this because the different drills are moving the soils and stuff. It'd be good to track if they're picking up different nutrients or what and stuff. So what the different drills are bringing. So I'll take this off, get them sent off to the lab.
And what are we going to results we're getting back? What will be the tissue samples for? What results?
So
will we get?
any minor nutrients and the nitrogen that's pick up and stuff. So hopefully we'll get a broad spectrum of what they've picked up.
Right, great. And how long will it be before we get those back?
Hopefully a couple of weeks.
Oh, a couple of weeks, right. So where do they go to?
These go to land crop, so they'll get sent off. And
that's up in, is that Pocklington, Yorkshire?
Yes, that's the one, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, brilliant. Right, great, thanks. I'm just at the Newark Show, and we've got the NFU stand here in the background, and there's a beet harvester here, which is the beet harvester that harvests our own sugar beet from Auburn Farming here in Lincolnshire. Lovely sunny day for this, which is unusual. Normally it's windy and raining here, but a great day here. So this is at the show. There's not much agricultural machinery here at Newark. It changed a few years ago, but still a good lot of farmers here. This is the NFU stand. And we just have a look here. There's a good display of things from British Sugar, and this is all the things that Lincolnshire is known for. How much food? 168,000 pigs in Lincolnshire. That's not the best of industries to be in at the minute. Look at that, 10,000 hectares of woodland. 40% of England's cut flowers and bulbs are grown in Lincolnshire. 26% of the UK's vegetables and salads come from Lincolnshire. Fantastic. So this is a bit of a display. These are the things that they take in from, obviously, what comes in the sugar beet. They have to sift it out, and this is where they sell it as topsoil. Sugar beet pulp as animal food. And then stones, they get lots of stones in as well when the lorries deliver sugar beet. And these are all the products, silver spoon, that you can get made from English sugar beet.
Alright, great. Boston fruit, whatever that is.
It's great to do things like this. Oh, look, who's that? I wonder who that is. That was about 2 years ago I did that for British Sugar. Oh, and another one there as well. Yeah, these just show the different stages of the sugar beet crop. It's great to do this sort of thing though, so that the public can see how their sugar is made and what goes into it, where it comes from, and then obviously to have the sugar beet harvester nearby that anyone can go on. This is just taking a photograph with some children of very good friends of mine.
Can I see your sticker?
There's Simon and Victoria. She Who Dares Farms. Hang on, Rhonda, just stay there a minute. That's a Welsh.
I know, but I like it.
Yeah, right, that's good. This is a Lancaster bomber coming over the show. Look at that. So thanks very much for watching. That's it for this midweek Wardy's Waffle update. Please just come back with any suggestions or thoughts on our fertiliser tipping and scorch that we've got. Remember, we're using dribble bars on the sprayer to apply it, not umbrella jets or any other nozzles. And you can see the rain's really helped this sugar beet behind me here. Really growing very well now, and this is on one of our heavyish fields, so yeah, doing really well. Anyway, thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you this Sunday morning at 8 AM as usual.